It is so good to connect with you again with the same title, A Successful Marriage. If you can identify Satan's tricks in your marriage, then any trial can be overcome. Most importantly, understand this: Satan cannot do any harm to your marriage unless you let him. Let's take a look at Genesis 3 to see one way in which this can happen. Genesis 3:16 says, "To the woman God said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. In pain you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you." Think about this verse. This verse was a curse from God. It was completely misunderstood by many cultures, especially in India. This verse is practiced as good. We often see it as being acceptable for men to dominate over women. We are continuing to practice a curse from which we have already been freed. Where did this curse come from? It came from our forefathers. Are we willing instead to follow what the Bible says? The New Testament says in Ephesians 5:25, "Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for her." Is Christ divided? No. Men, are we following God or following our culture? When one generation makes a foolish mistake, it will be reflected in their children. Beware of this. Someone must break the chain of bad habits that have been handed down to them. The same goes to our beloved sisters. Do not believe Satan's lie. The feminist movement is creeping all over the world. Sooner or later, our girls will be trapped by Satan's craftiness as well. Dear young men and women, do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. Proverbs 3:7. Always trust in the Lord and wait for him. He will do it according to his proper time. If you rush to make decisions that are not God's will, then you will suffer the consequences. Let me encourage you by saying this: never trade temporary pleasure for permanent damage. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and all your mind and all your strength. The Lord will bless you at a proper time, and one day you will be amazed by his grace. Proverbs 3:5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." May God give you a very best in your life. Amen.